Hello, everybody. It's me, your host for today's episode. So I've been doing some research lately about how I should review, and first, I should explain that the type of audience this is going for. Second, I'm gonna recap what happened in the last episode. Third, we're gonna do the details, okay? Then, fourth, we're gonna grade based on my opinion on how the episode was. Out of chicken tendies, of course, because one is not a good choice to give out to a customer who's hungry. 5 is an okay, yeah? Okay amount. 10, that is when you start loving yourself. That's when you start loving the whole world. So, anyways, we are going for this type of format. So, anyways, onto the video. So first, this is targeted for the anime watchers, the anime community, and then we left off on the last episode where Subaru gets transported to the hillside and meeting a silver-haired girl, which is a witch and an elf. Basically, the witch of greed or envy. And then the setting is based in the hillside. We know that the girl's name is Echidna, and that she's the witch of envy. And we see her sitting on a chair with the table with a cup of tea on it. Of course, she invites Subaru, and then Subaru just kind of like doesn't even question that this is a tea coming from a witch. Who knows, there might be poison in it. But it turns out that the tea wasn't tea, it was actually the witch's bodily fluids. Kind of fucking disgusting, but it's kind of yucky. And the witch is really chill, you know? Like a person that doesn't give a fuck. And we know that this witch definitely has done a bunch of bad things. And that she's kind of unpredictable right now. We don't know much about her other than the fact that she's hated by the world. And so Subaru questions like, why is he here? Why did he get transported? But there's not like any actual reason, you know? And then on this part, the witch starts talking about the other sins and telling them the details about what they did and what they are, why they are called the witch of insert a sin here. And then after that, Subaru is very frightened. Don't know why. She was just explaining about the witches, and a lot of questions after this whole this whole meeting. There's a bunch of questions like getting flung around, and kind of like Subaru is kind of clueless. And then suddenly they start talking about where the sanctuary is. Turns out it's just outside the place he entered, or like the place before he got transported. And then finally, that's all he came for. That's what he wanted to know. So Subaru's like, fuck this, I'm out. And he is leaving. But before he can leave, the witch asks for what is it called? A vow as a gift. And Subaru has to keep the meeting a secret. Yeah, that's it. He just needed to keep it a secret, and he can't tell anybody about this little tea party that they just had and this little talk that they just had. So what she also talked about was the fact that in the sanctuary there's a trial, and we know that the sanctuary has been a mystery to us in on the last episode. So he gets transported outside of the witch's place, and just when he got out, of course he gets thrown like a bitch, and then the dragon gets KO'd by this dude that looks like Frederica, but it turns out it's the person they were actually warned about, Garfield. And you know, he doesn't know anything about what's going on with Subaru and the others, so he kind of attacks them. But of course Subaru explains before he gets beaten the shit out of him, because of course he doesn't want that to happen. He explains that they are here for something, and that Frederica told them not to meet up with, you know, him. And so of course Garfield stands down. They get into the car, and then they finally arrive in a village with a bunch of beastmen. And apparently Rem is also there, and Roswell. They meet up with Rem, you know, greetings. And of course after that Rem shows them to Roswell, who is in bed, bedridden, because, you know, he failed the trial. And we also get to know more about the Mathers family and the sanctuary. Kind of not going to talk about that. So we know that Roswell failed the trial now, and so Amelia is going to try to do the trial, but first they need to see if she's worthy. So, but before she sees if she's worthy, she has to go tell the other villagers that she's gonna do it in place of Roswell. And then, you know how Amelia gets treated, like a dog, you know, everybody, like a stray dog. Not everybody accepts her. But finally, she actually gets some love from the villagers instead of getting neglected, you know. And, you know, she does a huge speech to get their love. And then of course the villagers are gonna try to accept her friendship, and, you know, try not to be mean to Amelia. And then it cuts off to Amelia in front of the place where Subaru was, you know, the place he entered before getting transported to the place where the witch is. And then when Amelia gets close to it, it glows blue, and that means you're qualified for it. But here's the thing: when she went inside, it stopped glowing, and according to Garfield and Rem, it's supposed to keep on glowing until the trial is over. So Subaru runs into the trial. It suddenly glows, even though he doesn't meet the conditions, because there were supposed to be some certain conditions in order to go to the trial. So this is very unexpected. And then something very very, very unexpected happens. I'll leave it up to you guys to see it, because the ending leaves me speechless, And we know that if you're as eager as me to watch the anime, or like if I convince you to watch the anime, please do. The community has open arms. So that's it for the details. Now the summary. So this week's episode, was very interesting and exciting. I enjoyed watching the episode that was made. To this date, July 22, 2020. And so if I persuaded you to watch this anime, it is a very good and a very good anime and worthy of your time. And I just recommend it. If you're interested in the thriller and mystery genre, it's probably going to be one of the best animes that you're going to watch. But, it's your choice. So, the start of the anime was kind of, normal. No emotions, no excitement. But it was just like getting time to know what's happening a little bit, or like an explanation kind of. And but it was actually pretty funny watching the interaction between these characters, Echidna and Subaru. And then in the middle was where it was starting to get interesting and kind of emotional, I was actually kind of happy that Emilia finally gets accepted by the villagers, She was neglected for a long time, and finally she got an answer from the villagers. Or like the villagers started to accept her. And then the end is a very good way to end it, because it leaves us off on a mystery, or like eager to know what's gonna happen next. So practically it made me want to see more. So now I'm gonna grade it. I give this anime 7 or 7.5 out of 10 chicken tendies. The cliffhanger is very good for this episode. It was a nice episode, yeah. And it was actually very unexpected and very thrilling. Also very exciting to see these type of events to roll out. Like we never expected Roswaal to be bedridden, He's one of the strongest characters, or like one of the strongest in the anime. I think he could control like all the elements, from what I heard, where he just had like endless amounts of magic, like Beatrice, Anyways, that's it for this episode. I hope you liked it, and I hope that you watch this anime if you haven't watched it yet. Please subscribe. Peace. 夢ならばどれほどよかったでしょう。夢ならばどれほどよかったでしょう。夢ならばどれほどよかったでしょう。夢ならばどれほどよかったでしょう。